Apiary and Homestead. Today in the kitchen, we're making a typical coronavirus pandemic shut-in turkey dinner. Totally typical. So we've already got the turkey in, and it is seasoned: basil, oregano, poultry seasoning, sage, rosemary, garlic, salt. And it's in the oven, getting ready to go for a late dinner. And while that's getting prepared, in the back we have your typical giblet gravy. Preparations going with your different organ meat and your neck. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to bring that to a boil. We've covered it in 2 inches of water, and then we are going to reduce heat and simmer for 1 hour. So the next thing we're going to do, now that the giblets and the neck have simmered for 1 hour, is we're going to we've allowed the meat to cool down. I'm not Superman, I didn't just pull this out and I'm able to magically hold on to it, but we're going to get this neck meat, we're just going to finger pick it off the bone, and this is going to become vital gravy bits. So we're just going to keep working this. This whole homesteading lifestyle is about using everything to its fullest potential and not wasting anything. You know, this turkey gave its life, probably against its own will, so that we might live. We want to be efficient with every part of it to the fullest extent possible, getting as much life sustenance from it as we can. There is quite a bit of good meat a lot of people would allow to go to waste. We would prefer not to. My grandma and grandpa used to always say, waste not, want not. You know, how many things do we throw away and then later think, oh man, I wish I had that. That does not mean that we're all going to become hoarders. There's a balance. There's always a balance, and you want to seek balance in your life. You know, for me, it's doing the things that I enjoy, the things that bring me joy. And one of the things that brings me joy is providing for my family. That's why I keep honeybees, to provide a source of income and of natural sweetener, natural medicine. There's so much about honey. There's so many really, really good medicinal values to it. And it's still used in hospitals in Europe to bring healing in certain conditions. You know, my daughter loves to tell a story of the time she scraped her shin at the playground, and we came home and Mom asked why we didn't take her to get stitches. It's a shin. And I asked, when have you ever seen in a movie or in real life a guy walk up to a pretty girl and say, hey there, pretty lady, nice shins? You know, you just don't see it. So I didn't think anything about the fact that she had cut her shin and whether it would or wouldn't need stitches. I just did what I needed to. I got a Band-Aid out from the first aid kit, and we stopped the bleeding, put a Band-Aid on it, and she went on to play. Well, my wife put on some Neosporin and a Band-Aid, And I said, you know, you should use some of my honey. It'll help it heal quicker. And they went the Neosporin route. The next day, my daughter came to me and asked if the wound looked like it was infected. And sure enough, it was starting to get a little red around the edges of the cut. We put more Neosporin, not honey, and a fresh Band-Aid. And after a week of doing this, with Dad saying, you should really try my honey. You should really try my honey. My daughter was ready, because after a week, there was no scab formed, and it was still infected. And it had not healed. So that night, she put some of my late season honey. It was very dark, probably either buckwheat or Japanese bamboo honey. The darker it is, the higher the medicinal qualities. So we got some of that out, and we put a little bit on a Band-Aid, and we put it on her shin. And in the morning, she came bounding down the stairs, which never happens in the morning. And she excitedly exclaimed, Dad, Dad, look at my shin. The scab is forming. And what was it? 3 days or a week?
It was a week of Neosporin.
How long with the honey? Before it was fully scabbed and healing?
Probably about a week.
About a week of putting honey on the Band-Aid, and it was fully scabbed and it had started healing. And it wasn't really that long after that she was able to take the Band-Aid off, leave it off. Alright, so we got the neck processed. We are going to cut some of these pieces that are a little bit longer, short, so they're more bite-sized, less noticeable for those who might not be used to it. My daughter's giving me funny looks over the camera. She's videotaping today for me.
I'm not giving you funny looks, just my arm shirt.
She might be one of those ones that are a little bit more hesitant to try it.
No, I'm fine. It's just my arms hurt.
Next up in the process, we've got the heart.
Okay, now I'm a little...
And there's some kind of fatty pieces on the heart. And maybe the butcher didn't trim it up as much as he could have. And that's alright. The fact that they put it in there and we're going to get to enjoy it. Love it. Those Oregon meats are really high in iron. Either the liver, I think it's the liver, not the kidney. Kidney, have a different shape. Pretty sure that's the liver. We're just gonna make this all small and not very noticeable. The smaller it's made, the harder it is to pick out. This piece is the gizzard. I don't know if turkeys and poultry in general, I don't know if they don't have, they gotta have kidneys in there, but I don't see them in this pouch of giblets. I don't know if that's because too few people eat them or what, but kidney is a delicacy. Some people make kidney pie. Who knows?
That does not sound appetizing.
But one of the most important things in the kitchen, in my opinion, besides food, is a good sharp knife. You know, and that's one of those things where every time I use one, I sharpen it. Every time I put one away, I sharpen it. Just because a good sharp knife, if you have an accident, and accidentally get your finger, a good sharp cut will heal quickly with less chance of infection and issue. And it's just a pleasure to work with a sharp knife, and not so much a dull knife. A good quality knife is worth the investment, worth learning the skill of sharpening and keeping it sharp. I'm just trimming off some of the pieces. Alright, so we processed the neck, we processed the heart, we processed most of the gizzard, we told a really fun story, and technical difficulties, the camera switched to slow motion, and that would have made a really long, boring video. So here we've got the neck meat, the heart, the liver, and most of the gizzard. And we're just going to finish cutting the gizzard. And we're cutting everything into small pieces that are hard to pick out, hard to notice. And for anybody who's not sitting behind the camera, that's my daughter Miriam, or hasn't watched this video prior to eating the gravy, maybe they don't even know. The whole point is to effectively use as much of the bird as possible. Waste not, want not.
Are you kidding me?
Alright, so we've got that meat processed. Just gonna double check my recipe here from the Pioneer Woman. This is set aside until we remove the turkey from the oven. Remove the turkey, carefully remove it from the roasting pan. Pour all the drippings into a pan, large heat-proof pitcher. Separation will be obvious. Fat dries at the top, thick greasy liquid. The drippings stay at the bottom, and then most we fill with little pits. Totally separate. Use a ladle to carefully skim off the fat. Transfer it to a separate bowl. Lower the ladle straight down and slowly allow the fat to spill over the sides into the well. You can also use a fancy fat separator, but I don't have one. When you're ready to make the gravy, set the roasting pan over the stove, and we're going to turn this into gravy using the drippings, not the fat. The fat would give you a very greasy gravy. So we're going to separate the fat and the drippings, and then mix it in with a thickening agent and turn this into a wonderful turkey giblet gravy. So I pulled off some of the drippings, adding a little bit of flour, homestead style, no measuring, whisking this into a paste. Going to whisk this and allow it to thicken into a dark roux. Going to switch burners because we've got a burner that doesn't always work. Switch burners here. Alright, so our roux is coming to a good simmer here now. It's thickening up. My wife is probably the better gravy maker than I am, but she doesn't do giblet gravy. So we're going to learn together, walk through this process, try to decide what's thick enough, what should be thicker. some of the drippings that we saved off. I'm just going to slowly add these in. Oh yeah, now it's thickening up. Alright, we're going to let that return to a boil. Simmer down a little bit. And add back in the meat. I happen to be a big fan of garlic salt, so we are going to add some garlic salt in. And some pepper. And then the last thing we're going to add back in is our giblet meat. I don't know, but if you ask me, that's a pretty delicious looking gravy. Remove it from our heat. Very good. And there you have it, the finished product. Beautifully roasted turkey, a wonderful giblet gravy. I mean, just look at that. Perfection. Willow Brook Apiary's homestead. Happy bees, healthy honey, happy homesteading. God bless.